Hello, I'd like to welcome you to the 17th chapter of the book of Genesis. Begins in verse 1. Ageneto they, Avram eton enanikonta enea. And Abram was 99 years, and I put the old because there's not actually an old there. Ke ofthi Kyrios to Avram, and the Lord appeared to Abram. It doesn't say in this particular case if it's through a vision or if it's physical, but he appeared to Abram. Ke ipen av to, and he said to him, Ego imi o theos su, I am your God. I've heard a lot of people use this ego imi as the title of God, using it in New Testament studies, but it's used throughout the Old Testament, just I am, not a name. We'll get to this a little bit later with the name of the Lord when we get into the book of Exodus. I am your God. Evaresti enopion mu. You are well-pleasing before me. Now, why he was well-pleasing, or we've seen things that he's done, that doesn't sound like somebody would be well-pleasing as far as pawning his wife off to the Egyptians and taking more than one wife. But yet, for some reason, he was well-pleasing before God. And that we would be well-pleasing before God. And then he says, Ke ginu amemptos, then become blameless. Well, that's another thing, to become blameless, amemptos, and it's in the imperative. If somebody is well-pleasing, then the behavior afterwards is to continue. In verse 2, Ke thesome tin diathikin mu anameson emu, and I will establish my covenant. The diathikin, he made earlier covenants with Noah and put the bow in the sky. Between me, Ke anameson su. Ke plethino se, and I will multiply. Plethora is a derivative. I will multiply you. Svodra, exceedingly. 3. Ke epison Avram, epi prosopon av 2. And Abram fell upon his face. Ke elalison av to o theos, legon, and God spoke to him, saying, I can't imagine if you're in front of God and he's saying these things, it's a humbling place, and Abram fell upon his face, and the right place to be in front of the higher authority, and which God was. Verse 4, Ke idhu idhiathikim mu metasu, and behold, my covenant is, I have the is italic, so it is not there, but my covenant with you is with you. Ke esi patir plethus ethnon, and you will be a patir, a father. We have the English derivative, paternal for this word. Plethos, we mentioned before, a plethora. A father of a multitude of ethnon, the ethnic nations. It's not going to be one, but Abram's going to be the father of a multitude of nations, so it's not just one. Verse 5. Ke u klithisate eti to onomasu Avram, and your name will no longer be called any longer Avram. Al este to onomasu Avraham, but your name will be Abraham. And that's good. I finally have Abraham because I've been pronouncing Abram so many places in these earlier seminars, and now it's Abraham, which I'm used to. Most people are used to saying. But your name will be Abram. Oti patera polon ethnon tethika se. I have appointed you father of many nations. It wasn't his choice, but he was appointed. This is what God had set out for Abraham to be. Verse 6, Ke avxano say sphodra, and I will increase you, sphodra. Whenever these two sphodras are together, it's very much, exceedingly. Ke theso say is ethne, and I will establish you for nations, plural. Ke vasalis exu exolevsonte, and kings, the basil plant, basilica, that is a derivative there. And kings will come forth from you. Verse 7, Ke stiso tin diathikin mu anameson emu ke anameson su. And down a little bit it has see both for variance. I'm not exactly sure what that is there. But you might want to check that out. I know it in the later here it goes into the plural, so it may have been in a plural form in some of the variants. Between me and between Su, ke anameson to spermatus Su, and between your seed, meta se, after you, is tas genius avton, after you, unto their generations. So it says, is diathikin ionion, for an eternal covenant. And a lot of people, I mentioned before, have this problem with eternal. Aeonio would be a certain period of time, and then it comes to an end. Eternal is the Latinized form of the Greek word, aion, and many places it talks about God, eternal, so I just don't see where it's just one period of time. Ine su theos, to be your God. He's the God of Abram. Ke to spermatus su meta se, and with your seed after you. So it's not going to be just with him, of course. It's going to be with his seed. Verse 8, Ke thoso si, ke to spermatis su meta se tigin in parikis, and I will give to you and to your seed after you the land which you sojourn. He's in Canaan now. Pasantin gin Canaan is kataskasin ionion, all the land of Canaan for an eternal possession. And this is going to be for his seed, and we will see that it specifically goes later in, to the children of Israel, Jacob, and but yet here it's we're still with Abraham, so the land of Canaan with his seed. So the argument could be, well, is it that land to more than one people? Ke esome aftis is theon, and I myself will be to them for God. Theon, theology, is a derivative right there. Ionion, eon, another derivative. And gene, geology, another derivative. Spermity, another one. Sperm, all these are derivatives. Have English derivatives. 9. Ke ipen o theos pros Avraham. And God said to Abraham, Si they tin diathikin mu diatirisis, you also shall observe my covenant. Ke to sperma su meta se istas genias avton, and your seed after you for their genias, for their generations, and we have as a derivative there because it's almost a direct genia and generation. Ke avti I diathiki in diatirisis anameson emu ke imon. Here's the plural you, and this is the covenant which you shall observe between me and you, plural. Not just Abram, but these peoples. Ke anameson to spermatos su meta su, and between your seed after you. Perit me thesate, imin pan arsenikon. Pan, every, pandemic. Arsenikon, arsenic is a derivative, a strong, manly type of a poison, a drug. Every male shall be circumcised.